This video was created using artificial intelligence. All voices and characters are not real. This video is made for educational and informational purposes only. We do not promote hate, misinformation, or political bias. If you are a true history lover and you want to uncover the hidden truths of the past, if you are ready to open the darkest pages of history, then subscribe to Vault of Centuries. Here, we explore the stories that time tried to erase. We reveal forgotten legends, buried secrets, and the harsh truths that never made it into school books. We don't just tell history, we reveal it. Welcome to Vault of Centuries.
Imagine Africa. The year is 1600. The land is burning, torn apart by slavery, greed, and foreign invaders. But in the chaos, a storm is rising, not from a king, but from a woman. A princess born to fight. A queen forged by fire. A legend written in blood. Her name was Nzinga. And she would shake the empire to its knees.
Imagine, it's the early 1600s. Africa is burning under the pressure of the Portuguese slave trade. And in the kingdom of Nzinga, a storm is about to rise. Not from a warrior, but from a woman. She was born in 1583, Princess Nzinga, daughter of King Kalwanji of the Nzinga Kingdom in modern-day Angola. From childhood, Nzinga wasn't like the others. She learned to speak Portuguese, trained in warfare, and listened closely to royal councils. Her father used to say, "This girl will lead where others will kneel." In the early 1600s, the Portuguese launched violent slave raids across Africa, and the kingdom of Nzinga was hit hard. They weren't just invading, they were burning entire villages to the ground, capturing men, women, and children, and shipping them off to be sold as slaves in foreign lands. These weren't random attacks. They were systematic and brutal. They also forced local African kings to pay heavy tributes. Gold, resources, and even people, or face complete destruction. Amid this chaos, Nzinga's father, King Kalwanji, died, and her brother, Mbandi, took the throne. But Mbandi was no warrior. He was overwhelmed, indecisive, and terrified of the growing power of the Portuguese. His fear made him weak, and weakness in leadership leads to collapse. The people of Nzinga began losing faith. Their king couldn't protect them. Their homes were being destroyed. Their children were being stolen. Their future looked hopeless. But there was one person who refused to give in. Nzinga. She saw the fear in her brother's eyes and the fire in her own heart. Where others saw defeat, Nzinga saw a challenge. While Mbandi crumbled under pressure, Nzinga began preparing for something greater. A path that would lead her from being a royal daughter to one of the fiercest warrior queens in African history. This was the turning point, the moment when the people lost hope. But Nzinga refused to. She would fight. She would negotiate. She would lead. And her journey was just beginning. Nzinga was bold, smart, and unafraid. While others gave up, she began planning how to stop the slave trade, how to face the Portuguese, and how to save her kingdom. This was the moment where a queen was born, not by blood, but by bravery. That moment became a legend. Nzinga had tried peace. She signed a treaty with the Portuguese, hoping to protect her people. But like always, they broke their promises. They kept stealing, enslaving, and attacking. Then tragedy struck. Her brother, King Mbandi, died. Some say he was poisoned. Others say he couldn't take the pressure and ended his own life. With no one left to lead, Nzinga stepped forward. She claimed the throne. But when the Portuguese heard this, they laughed. A woman? Leading a kingdom? Fighting a war? But Nzinga wasn't just any woman. She was sharp, fearless, and burning with rage. She wasn't here to rule quietly. She was here to fight and change history forever. She moved her people inland into the mountains and forests, built a new capital in Matamba, and trained an army. Not just men, she trained women as elite bodyguards. She led from the front, dressed in armor, holding a spear. Her warriors called her Mother of the People. Her enemies called her the Black Panther. When the Portuguese tried to invade Nzinga's land, she didn't fight like a traditional army. She used her knowledge of the land. She hid in forests, launched guerrilla attacks, and surprised the enemy with night raids. She wasn't alone. She made alliances with escaped slaves, Dutch fighters, and even some of her old enemies, Portuguese captains who had switched sides. Nzinga was smart. She fought with strategy, not just strength. She always kept talking, offering peace with one hand, but holding a sword in the other. For 40 years, she protected her kingdom. She freed thousands of enslaved people and created a land where no one was sold, only protected. Even when most people retire or grow weak with age, Queen Nzinga never stopped fighting. In her 60s and 70s, when others her age could barely walk long distances, she was still riding horses into battle, wearing armor, leading her army like a warrior queen. But Nzinga wasn't just a fighter. She was a wise ruler. She made smart decisions, protected her people, and ruled with both strength and intelligence. She became a symbol of hope, especially for those who were enslaved or oppressed. In 1663, when Nzinga died at nearly 80 years old, her enemies finally felt safe. But by then, it didn't matter. Nzinga's name had already become legend. She had done something extraordinary. She resisted the powerful Portuguese Empire. She saved her people from slavery. And most importantly, she proved that real power doesn't depend on being a man or a woman. It comes from courage, wisdom, and heart. Today, statues stand tall in Angola, honoring her courage, her leadership, and her fight for freedom. But much of the world still doesn't even know her name, because Nzinga wasn't just a queen. She was a warrior who led armies into battle, a diplomat who outsmarted her enemies with words, a mother not just to children but to a nation, and a symbol of what it means to rise when the world tries to silence you. So the next time someone tells you history has no queens, tell them about Nzinga. Tell them about the woman who made empires tremble, the woman who never bowed, the forgotten warrior queen of Africa, whose time has come again.